Hey everybody, I'm DBS TCG Central. Welcome to another deck profile. If you saw today's thumbnail, you saw today that we're doing, boom, SS3 Bardock Reborn from Darkness. So this is a really cool leader. It's a starter deck leader. And I've seen a few builds online that are insane, and I've seen a topping build that I thought was really good. And I decided to take a whack at it and try my own build and tried some of the new cards that came out in the new Zenkai set, and I thought they were really cool. So I want to show you guys what we're doing with this thing, and we have a Z deck for it too. So let's get started. All right, so on this side, he is Masked Saiyan. Active main, once per turn, burst 3, add up to one card from your life to your hand. If a black card is placed in your drop area by this skill, this card gets critical for the turn, which is really good. If a non-black card is placed in your drop area by a skill, this card gets plus 5,000 power for the turn. So really cool. We burst 3, so we usually see both of them happen, honestly, with the amount of cards that we run that are colored in here. So I'll show you exactly what goes on. And then when your life is at 4 or less, you may draw one card and choose up to one of your energy and flip it to active mode. All right, so then when he's awakened, he's SS3 Bardock, Reborn from Darkness. When this card attacks, you draw a card. Once per turn, add up to one card from your life to your hand. When you remove a marker from a black Unison card with a Spirit Boost skill, switch this card to active mode and negate its keyword skills for the turn. So he becomes a dual attacker, which is really good. He'll keep the plus 5k and he'll lose the critical. So if you do get a black card and a colored card to make him a 5k, it'll still stay on here when he restands. And then active main, once per turn, you can spirit boost, burst 3. If a black card, basically same as the other side. If you put a black card in there, you get critical. If you put a colored card in your drop area from bursting, you'll get plus 5k. So a really strong leader. I'll start with the Z deck, and then I'll show you the main deck. That's really cool, but nothing too crazy right now for Z battle cards in black. So we just have stuff that's just going to help the deck do what it needs to do. So the first one we run is we run 2 of these. We want to awaken as soon as possible. So if we don't have a card in our hand that's going to help us get to where we want to be, or we want to be there as soon as possible to awaken, we'll run 2 of these guys here. So SSB Vegeta, Surmounting the Impossible. If you don't know what it does, you pay 1 energy and 1 Z energy. And if your leader, the first part doesn't matter because our leader is not a Son Goku BRZ leader. But if it was, it would get 10k and double strike. But we play it for this second auto here. Place 1 card from your hand into the bottom of your deck. When this card is played, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand, and then you can draw 1 card. So a little bit of filter. Also, it helps you self-awaken if you need to, if you're at 1 and you need to get there. So we run 2 of those. And then the only other one that black really got was Demon God Demigra Begrudging Ally. So this card actually is pretty good for the deck. It's just kind of combo centric, so you want to make sure you get all your Z energy in there. Every time you combo, you use a double strike, Champa, or whatever. But it's unique, so we only run 2. This card gets 20k power for each card in your Z energy. If it's your turn, when you activate Overwhelm or Dark Overwhelm or play a black battle card from your warp, draw 1 card, then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and with energy cost 6 or less and send it to their warp. So it's good removal, but also when we overwhelm or play a black card from our warp, which we do without overwhelming in this deck, I'll show you how, we draw an extra card. So it's pretty good. And then sometimes you kind of need to spend 2 energy because you're going to awaken and you don't want to waste the untap. So it's good to have sometimes. So we run 4 of those Z battle cards, and then I'll show you the main deck, but they definitely are cool. All right, so the first card that we run is actually from another starter deck, the Vegeta starter deck. This is the Unison. It is SS Gotenks Fusion of Friendship. So this thing is really cool. I'll show you what it does. If your leader is a black Saiyan card, which it is, when this card is placed from your drop area into your drop area from your deck by a skill, and you don't have a Unison card in play, you may play this card in your battle area from your drop area with a marker on it. So basically, when we burst, if this is one of the cards that we burst, we can play it for free with 1 marker on it, which is crazy. And then it's got a +2 of all things. You can choose 1 card in your hand, you can discard it, and then this card gets plus 10,000 power for the turn, which is really, really good because say you're bursting and you want to overwhelm 3. When you put this card onto the battlefield, it takes away the 3 cards you were bursting. So by using this first ability, you could put another card in there, and then you'll have 3 in your drop area, and then you could overwhelm again. So it's really good. But it's a +2, so it will facilitate some spirit boosting, which is what we want. And it's an attacker, 15k when you do it. This card gets 20,000 power and dual attack for the turn if you -4 him. So that's another way of just maybe at the to add a little more aggression. If you have nothing else to do, that's a good ability too. But we're mostly spirit boosting with all the markers and stuff. But really good Unison because it gets played for free, especially with this deck. Speaking of spirit boosting, one of the reasons why we do even run a Unison is because of this card here. Black Mass Saiyan Spirit Boost Minion. So permanent, if your leader card is a Mass Saiyan or a Bardock Xeno, which is ours is both, treat this card in your hand as if it had no specific cost. So it basically becomes no specified yellow energy, and you can pay any color energy to play it. So we could use our black energy to pay for this, which is what we usually do. And then auto, once per turn, add 1 card from your life to your hand. When this card attacks, it gets 1100 power for the turn, which makes it a 15k. And then activate main once per turn, Spirit Boost 1. And then you can switch this card to active mode if you Spirit Boost. So what will happen is, like, turn 1, this is really the card you want to use, like turn 1, turn 2. Hopefully you burst and you'll get your Gogeta out. I mean your Vegex or what? Who is this? Let me see. Gotenks. Sorry, Gotenks fusion out, and then you Spirit Boost. You'll have 3 markers on it. You play this guy for 1 energy, turn 1, and then you take a life. You attack. He's a 15k. You Spirit Boost. Well, you attack here too, and then you attack here. You Spirit Boost. You restand him. And then when you restand him, he'll still be a 15k, and you could attack again. And if you're awakened, if you do this like turn 2 or so, or turn 3 or whenever, you can use this ability, and you can spirit when a marker is taken off of a Unison card by Spirit Boost ability. You can untap this guy and get some more aggression in. So it could be up to 4 attacks on your turn 2, possibly your turn 1, depending if stuff's going on with your opponent. But we run 4 of those. But it's really good value for 1 energy. Getting 2 attacks in is pretty insane. 15k. Never mind a 1-drop 15k, which is already good. The next card we run. So that's our first. This is one of our colored cards. So this will add, when we burst, it'll add the 5k. Another colored card that we use here is Black Mass Saiyan Spirit Boost Egma. I don't know. But anyway, this card here is really, really, really good. Unique, dual attack, active main, limit 1. So it's got a limit 1 where you can Spirit Boost 1 on this card. So if you pay 1 energy, if your leader card, where is it? If you pay 1 energy, your leader card is a Mass Saiyan or a Bardock Xeno card, and you discard this card from your hand, your opponent chooses 1 card in their life and play they may choose 1 card in their life, and they place it at the bottom of their deck. If they don't, play this card from your drop area. Okay, so what this is basically saying is you discard this card from your hand, and then your opponent, you pay 1 energy, you discard this card from your hand. Your opponent can then choose to take 1 life, and if they don't take 1 life, you can play this card. So it leaves them with a choice here where they're like, okay, I can take a life to let this card not come out, or they can let this come out, and then they have to deal with the attacks from it. So what this card has is dual attack. So it's a 15k 1-drop dual attack, but they can choose to take a life, which is still good because you're hitting them down for a life, which is what you want to do when you play a card. So you're basically paying 1 to hit them for 1, which is good. But if not, if they don't take it and they think they can defend it, then they'll have to deal with 2 attacks from a 15k. Never mind if it stays alive on the next turn. Plus you have more in your hand too. But it's a really, really strong card. So some more colored cards that we run 3 red Furthering Destruction Champa. If you don't know what it does, when you combo with this card, it gives whatever you're attacking with double strike. So if I'm 20k on this side because I put a colored card and a black card, so I'm a 20k critical, I'd play this and I'd become a 30k critical double strike, which is awesome. You want to keep cards out of your opponent's hand as much as possible. Critical attacks, especially in a rush deck like this, is really, really good. So I run 3 of these because I run a little bit of tech. There's some other stuff I run too. I might bump this up to 4 and run even some of the other Kais, because it's just having double strike on that leader is crazy. I do run one of these, Crack in Space Time. So basically, this is like a double strike Champa that is not a battle card for your leader. Active battle, if your leader card is a black Saiyan, which it is, this card gets 15k power and double strike for the duration of the battle. So it's just an extra 5k for 1 energy. So like sometimes when I'm going for game or something, I'll attack with my leader because they can't really affect it the way they can battle cards when I'm attacking. So I'll attack and then I'll already be critical or 15k or something, and then or 20k, and I'll play this and I'll be a 35k triple strike critical. So it's just really strong. I just opted for one of these just because I usually swing for game with my leader, honestly. All right, so some other cards that we run. This is a really good card for the deck too. It's our first Overwhelm. So Revived Ravager Vegeta. It's every time we burst with a skill, we can play some of the other cards that we use that we were talking about, and I'll show you exactly which ones. Like this card here. Where's the camera? If we play this card here, we have other battle cards that we play like this, but if we played it with the leader ability, it would come out for free. And if we played it with this burst effect, it would also come out for free. So what this card does is it's got critical, which is great. So if you want to use a double strike on him to attack, it's awesome. It's fine. It's got Overwhelm 3. So you need at least 3 cards in your drop area to use this ability. And then when you play him for free. You play this card with Overwhelm, and then you place up to 3 cards off the top of your deck into your drop area. So you burst 3, you get 3 cards in your drop, you get this guy in your hand, you play him for free, you have a 15k attacker now for free, and then you burst 3 again. And then if you burst 3 again, then you could get another, if you didn't have one of these out already, you would get one of these out. It's basically getting like a whole nother burst to have like more battle cards come out, or like a Unison come out. So it's like a second chance if you whiff on your leader on the first one. So like I was saying, the burst effect, just like the Unison, we run some cards from the Vegeta starter deck. It's so helpful for the deck. But Time Agent Trunks. So if you don't know what this guy does here, he is a blocker. He does have unique. He's got the same ability as the Gogeta. So if your leader card is a black Saiyan card, when this card is placed in your drop area from the top of your deck by a skill, you may play this card from your drop area. So he gets played for free. He's a free blocker. And when this card is played, you can choose up to 1 card from your life to your hand. So if you need to self-awaken some more and this guy gets played, boom, just take it and you're good to go. It's perfect. Such a good card, especially for this deck. And then another card that we have here is Time Agent Vegeta. And what this card does here is he has unique also. And then if this card would be removed from your battle area, it is sent to its owner's warp instead. If your leader card is a black Saiyan, when this card is placed in the drop area from your deck by a skill, you may play this card from your drop area. So same as the Trunks, same as the Gogeta. Really good. And then right here, for 2 energy, you can choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost 3 or less and send it to their warp. So some more removal, and believe it or not, in this deck, you actually use that ability a lot just to get rid of some stuff when you're playing. And then some more we run 3 of these because just the room's a little tight. I would run 4, but I just have a lot of stuff going on in the deck. So if you have 5 or less cards in your hand, when this card is used in a combo, it gets another 5k combo power for the battle. So basically, it's a pseudo super combo where you don't draw a card. If your leader is a black Saiyan, when this card is placed from your drop area, placed in your drop area from from your deck by skill, you may play this card from your drop area. So this is another free card that gets played. And it's good for defense because you'll play it and you'll be able to combo in it. Especially when we're being aggressive too. If we're attacking, you can use this to be more aggressive and get a pseudo super combo on one of your critical double strike Vegetas or whatever else you're going to attack with. So it's a really good card. The super combos that we run, which actually are really good for this deck, is the SS Vegeta, the Prince Strikes Back. So this card is really cool because usually with these type of super combos, which is the bottom deck a card and then you draw two, you have to have a monocolor energies. So if it was the green one, all your energy would need to be green for you to use the ability on the card. But for this, if your leader card is black and your life is at 4 or less, and all your energy is black, which it always is, when a card is used in a combo, this card gets 10k combo power for the battle, and then choose up to 1/8 card in your hand and place it at the bottom of your deck, and then draw 2 cards. Now, usually it'll say put a blue card at the bottom of your deck and then draw 2, but it just says any card, so you can use any of your color cards too to do it. So it's really good. But it's good really because sometimes you'll get these cards in your hand, like these ones, and you don't really play them for 3. The ability is to kind of get them played for free off the top of your deck. So if you have some of these dead in your hand, it's really good to use this to put them back into your deck so that you have another chance to pull them after you do a shuffle or something like that. So really good. And then a little bit of spice that I decided to put in there. This is from the new set, Zenkai set right now, and I just think it's really cool, especially for this deck and what the deck does as itself, and especially if you're caught up and you have to slow down a little bit and you have to play a little mid-rangey because your opponent's taking care of your stuff pretty easily or whatever, but usually it's really hard for them to even keep up with all the attacks. Dark Broly Heartless Berserker. So I run 4 of these. I know it's a one of in a lot of decks right now, but Overwhelm 6. So when this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and send it to its owner's warp. So we're warping anything without barrier. That's good, first of all. And then you got a 30k attacker for free when you Overwhelm 6. Active main for 2 energy. If your leader is black, you can play this card from your warp. So just because we'll be overwhelming and these cards will gradually be going in there from bursting, and these go to your warp, if you want to spend 2 energy to play this guy to get that effect to just warp anything at any time, you can. It's crazy. Or if you want to play it for free with Overwhelm, you can. So this card itself is nuts, especially in this deck and what this deck is going to do too. I'll show you what else. So that, and like I said, 30k attacker is nothing to gawk at either, especially when you slap a double strike on there. It's a 40k, So another weak card that we run to complement that one is Dark Broly Unbridled Destruction. So there's a crazy interaction here. So you can X evolve for 2 energy onto a Dark Broly with energy cost 2 or 6. So this is a Dark Broly with energy cost of 6. And you can overwhelm him for free to play it. So you would only be paying 2 energy to actually put this on top of him. And what this card does here, he's got a permanent where this card is also treated as black in all areas. So you'll have black. It'll be if it's in your energy, it'll be black. If it's in your drop area, it'll be black, but it's also red. So this will proc, one of these cards will proc both of the skills on your leader. So auto, if your opponent's life is at 3 or more and there is a card under this card, which means you evolved onto it, when this card is played, switch up to switch it. Okay, so when you play the card, you can attack with this card. When you EX evolve, you'll attack, and then you can evolve on top of here. And when you evolve on top, you untap that card. So you get another 30k attack. Switch it to active mode. Then your opponent may choose one battle card each from their hand, battle area, and or drop area and send it to their warp. And then if they send 2 or fewer cards to their warp, choose up to one of your opponent's life and place it into their drop area. And then you can't play copies of this card for the turn. So basically they have to warp something from their hand, a battle card from their hand, and a battle card from their battle area or warp. And if they did 2 or fewer, is it that 2 or fewer? Yeah, so if they did 2 or fewer, you can choose up to one card in your life. So they have to do up to 3 cards, and if they don't, and they do 2 or less, then they have to take 1 life. So it's really, really good. And popping it, you do a 30k swing. So you you play this, you warp one of their battle cards, whatever size it may be. You get a 30k swing. You spend 2 energy. You put this on top. It restands, and then they have to get rid of another one of their battle cards. But you just warped something, so it might be hard for them to do. Never mind any other way we're removing stuff. And then they have to discard a card pretty much. And if they did 2 or fewer, like, so if they didn't do another battle card or another card from their hand, they have to take 2 life. That's crazy. So that comes in and it helps out pretty well. Also, they have the option of putting one from their drop area into their warp too. But you're warping all their battle cards, so they won't have any battle cards in their drop. That's the ticker, you know. So it's a really good card. It's a 7-drop too, which comes into play with the next card here. So if you do burst it, we have a way of getting it back to our hand from your drop area. And like I said too, this guy, if he's warped, you could play him too from your warp for 2 energy. So just a really, really good, cool combo. I don't know if anybody knows about it yet. I saw it and I freaked out, especially when I considered it for this deck. So another Overwhelm we run is SS4 Son Goku Beyond All Limits or whatever. Is that what it is? Beyond All Limits, yeah. So Overwhelm 6, if your leader is black, when this card is played using Overwhelm, add up to 1 black battle card with energy cost of between 3 and 7 from your warp to your hand. So this guy is also treated as a black battle card. So this card searches this card out. No problem. That's why it says 3 to 7. So this guy's a 7, you can grab him. So you have another 30k swing attack for free. So say you played this guy last turn and he's still out, or you overwhelmed him, and then you play this guy to get this back a prior turn or on that turn and he's still out. You pay another 2 energy and play this. And this is when your opponent's at 3 or more life. So until they're down to 2 life, you can use this guy. So it's really cool. It's a really cool combo. And then this guy, I find myself searching out my double strike. Where is he? Oh, I didn't show him yet. Well, I find a lot of stuff for this. Like, it's really, really cool. But it says between 3 and 7 too, because they don't want you grabbing your super combos and stuff. So it's a fair card, and it's a really good card as well. Like a 30k attacker out of nowhere. And like I said, if you plop a double strike on there, it's really good. So a little defense that we run here, just in case our opponent fix this camera. Sorry, guys. Just in case our opponent handles our stuff a little bit and we need to sit back for a turn and just reaccumulate and reassess the situation. We run an Oceanus Shinron 2 times. So if you don't know what this card does, this is a floodgate. It's a blocker, counter attack. It gets reduced by 3 in your hand on your opponent's turn, so it'll only be a 2 cost. And when you play it, it negates the attack. You play it, and then it's a blocker. But every time your opponent attacks after this card is played, they have to put 4 cards from the top of their deck into their drop area. So they'll do it once, and they'll be like, okay, I can attack once. That's fine, you know. And then they'll do it again, and then suddenly there's 8 cards in their drop area from the top of their deck. And this one here is a blocker. So they'll attack, and then they'll play this, and the first attack they attack with will be 4 cards, and that you can just block, you know. And then after that, it's another 4 cards, another 4 cards. So it's a really good floodgate, I think. And it's splashable in any deck. So if you're not trying to run topos, or you're running a different color that doesn't have a floodgate you're into, you could run that one, no problem. 2, Petrification. If you don't know what it does, it's a great counter for black. If your leader is black, negate the attack, first of all. And then you may choose 1 card in your hand and place it in the drop area. If you place a card in your drop area, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier. And it can't attack, be placed in your opponent's combo area, or activate skills until the end of their next turn. So this can actually stop 2 attacks. So say they attack with something, you negate it, and then you could choose a different card, one that has barriers or not, and then it can't attack and you can't activate skills. So really good for 1 energy. That's like Value Town. Never mind the ignoring barrier thing if you have like a huge barrier monster out. And then we run 2 Super Kamehameha. This is super important for the deck too, because when we want to be aggressive and we're attacking like crazy, we don't want them to floodgate us. So this is really just to prevent the floodgates. And what it does is it's a counterplay. If your leader card is black and your life is at 4 or less, if the battle card being played has an energy cost of 3 or less, it's sent to its owner's warp instead of being played. So if they try to topo you or use something like this on you, because it's reduced in their hand by a certain amount, you can just send it to their warp instead of getting it played. Permanent, if you have only black cards in your energy, which we usually do, and your life is at 4 or less, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand by adding a card from your life to your hand instead. So if we used our energy being aggressive and we swing and then they try to floodgate, we can just take 1 life, play that card, because we're always going to be at 4 or less life because we like to awaken as soon as possible. And then we can just negate their floodgate. It'll negate that first attack, but after that, they won't be able to use that skill that floodgates us. And then some spice. I run one of these SS3 Gogeta Indomitable Might. So if you don't know what this does, this is a newer card. Energy Exhaust, Deflect, Double Strike. When this card is played, your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand. Oh, sends 1 card in their hand to their warp. When you choose, then you choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards, and they get negative 30,000 power for the turn. So that's good alone. It's just a double strike 30k is crazy too. But you play it for 3 energy if you ever get there. It's kind of like a secret rare type deal. If your leader is red or a black Saiyan, which ours is black, and there are 3 or more red or black Saiyan cards in your energy or battle area, which there always are, play this card from your hand and add up to one of your lead. Okay, wait. Play this card from your hand, and up to 1 of your leader cards gets plus 5,000 power for the start of your next main phase. So it kind of puts like a sensu bean on our leader defensively if we tap out to use that card. But it's good. It's 30k double strike if you need to get there and use it. It's usually a kind of a late game. If the games go long, I'll play it on turn 4, maybe 5 if I'm defending. But our real secret rare is Pan. I mean, it's so good. I mean, it's a Saiyan. If you don't know what it does, you can play it for free when your opponent. I'll read it for you. Ultimate. So counterattack. If you have 3 or more energy, play this card. Your opponent can't attack with battle cards for the turn. You can't activate counter skills on copies of this card for the game. So basically, it floodgates your opponent, and then for each battle card in play, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 2. So if you have 4 battle cards out, this becomes a free, the free battle card, a free counterplay, or a free card. And then active main for 1 energy, remove this card from the game. Choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, and then you can gain control of it. I honestly don't really use this for the floodgate. I literally will play this card, and then because you can just play it for free if you have the battle cards out, and I'll go in for a 40k attack and then maybe put a double strike on it. But that's what I do. And that's the deck, and I love it. I think it's really cool. I'm going to try it at locals. It's really rush. And then I put it a little, I did it so you can sit back a little bit in case like your rush gets messed with a little bit. And then you can go a little bit mid-range. And then you can sit back and kind of be aggressive that way and just protect yourself a little bit. But that's the only difference between a lot of the other decks I've seen. But I think that that little Broly chain is really good, and it has a lot of potential too. So we'll see what happens. But I'm DBS TCG Central. Thank you guys for coming to another video. Like, subscribe. Like I said, I have other outlets too. I have a Facebook and Instagram and an eBay. I'll put links in the description below. But I appreciate you guys coming to see the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks.